Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Women don't really talk about men's jawlines. I had to address this issue because, as you know, you got like whole channels of people men, specifically men, measuring other men's jawlines and saying why this man would get the play or why this man would get the woman. And I started noticing some stuff. One, I can't seem to find a woman's channel that does that. They be measuring and stuff. That's one. Two, even in the comments of some of that, I don't see any women co-signing and stuff, right? Now, some guys are trying to say, well, we saw this TV show and all of that, and they were going crazy over the man, but they don't know exactly what they were going crazy over. They looking at the jaw and everything, but I'm like, well, maybe they like his eyes. Maybe they like his hair. It's something like that. And, I'm like, wait a minute. Do women really be talking about it? Now, you might see an article here and there. Well, actually, the articles are primarily written by men. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, right? And this is why, and you know what? When I thought about this the other day, I actually like questioning some women. Asked my young lady friend. I shot some text to some women that I know who are brutally honest, and I said, and all I asked, I said, dude, when women talk about men, do they be saying, oh yeah, he got this square jaw and everything, and and the women are like, nah, we don't mention the jaw. They'll mention the overall face, but not the overall head. Like, they'll say, yeah, they'll check out his head, they'll check out his eyes, lips, maybe his nose and everything. They never say jaw. And even then, a lot of them don't even, when they talk about him, and I've known women for years, they don't really say much. They might say, oh yeah, he cute or something like that. But they be mainly checking out the body any damn way. Because plenty of women will say a guy cute or something, and that's at the most. And even then, when they looking, they ain't saying, oh, he got this square jaw. See, I've always wondered about that, because you get guys who swearing all loud, they doing all the and talking, but those same guys, if you really listen to them, don't get that much experience in the streets. Because you get out into the streets and you be seeing some Charlie Brown head dudes be getting women, or some like slim face woman, or some slim face man be getting women. In fact, that whole square jaw thing, that's mostly a Hollywood thing. That's kind of rare. You don't see that out here. I want to stay on that because a lot of guys get so caught up into that. But I'm like, well, dude, how do you explain this Charlie Brown looking motherfucker over here who women throwing it at? Chasing. Shit, one of the biggest players I knew had a face like Elmer Fudd. Like, no joke. No joke. I'm serious. See, here's the thing. A lot of guys want to get caught up into what they think, but women don't check out men the way we think they do or consider attractive. Because I've personally known, that's why I say, like, a man can't really judge another man because you don't have a vagina. Because I've given up on even trying that shit. Because a woman, you can't predict what a woman ultimately are like other than what they say and what you actually see them with. And when I say see them with, right? Let's be very clear. I don't go by what I see in the media. I don't go by that at all. Because I'll just say a lot of what you see in the media is some fake stuff. There's a lot of those. I know from people who know people. Sometimes you be seeing some things in the media and think, oh yeah, this guy getting it. But if you like really dig deep, that guy ain't even straight. There's a whole lot of that. There's a whole lot. You can't go by a lot of it's like smoke and mirrors. You got to go by what you see out in public. And even then, you got to take that with a grain of salt unless you know the person. Now, I'm going to tell you something now. Here's one thing. And I'll challenge my knowledge. I'll debate somebody. I'll challenge it because a lot of people don't realize you got to be out here. And like qualitative research is field research. Sociologists understand that. Anthropologists understand that when you're trying to understand what's going on socially. The guys, I've known plenty of guys who get women like crazy. Like I know it, like I said, and I don't know it from what they even seen. I'm knowing from how the women responded to them. And even when they together, I'm very good at reading body language. You can tell, you can look at a couple together and tell when a woman's into a man. And I be looking at it when I see it and reading the body language, or the guys that you know getting some because the women throwing it at them, you watching the women throwing it at them. You know, situations like if I'm in a gym or something, you can see the woman throwing it at them. In fact, there's been cases where I've seen a man and a woman, they might be in the same area and be trying to play it off, and I'll ask the woman, I say, you getting with him, ain't you? I asked the woman, she's like, yeah. And the guys don't be having like all that like square jawline. Now, let's be clear. If a guy actually does have that, he should do well. He should do well, but no different from a guy who don't have that thing. Because, see, here's the thing with women that men need to understand. They need to understand. They all got different taste. In fact, I asked a woman whose word I would trust just the other day. I said, you know, I was asking, I said, well, what type of man that women really go for? And she said, ain't no real thing. If you ask 100 women, they're going to give you 100 things. You know, in fact, that's why I tell men, look for your tribe. You can meet a woman and she be like, oh, yeah, he ugly and all of that. But then the other one be like, oh, yeah, he fine as hell. Mess with the one that says you're fine as hell. You know, get out there. You know, that's why some guys, you know, when I see like these channels and, you know, they asking another man, first of all, look, let me hold on. Don't even ask another man. Never ask another man how women will see you. Never. Seriously. I've had dudes ask me, I said, dude, I don't know, go find a woman you trust. Seriously. Seriously. Go ask. See, a lot of times guys trying to say something, ask the women what they see. Because that's all that's going to really count. Because they the ones who going to have sex with the man. You know? And just understand that. Don't get into this stuff. Like, all this other stuff, like, when I'm checking out what women actually want and do, I actually check it out. I even hit some other websites. Definitely listen to what they're saying. I'm watching who they responding to. And like I said, it's a lot of little stuff in there. It's a lot of little stuff, and guys got to get off of that. Even with me talking the body game, I got that from women. A lot of guys don't want to hear that shit, but I ask women. In fact, I know that from my personal thing. Now, I remember the time I was getting women, but not to the same extent, and I had to work harder. But then when I started working out, a lot of women who didn't do anything with me sexually all of a sudden doing vile things to my body. And they told me all it was my body changed. My face didn't change. You know, there wasn't no drastic change in my face. The face was basically the same way. It was the muscles on there that changed. You know, so, you know, fellas, always pay attention. Now get off that thing you don't want to hear with the if you trying to get sex with a woman, you need to know, you need to find out from them what they actually check for. You know, hit some of these women's sites up, hit some of these pages up, these YouTube things on you know, these different channels about what women talking about. And don't say, oh yeah, they lying. And it's like, hold up. Just read the comments. Just read the comments, and then you start seeing some shit, you know, and get out in the world. Try to, you know what? I don't think a lot of guys actually know players. You know, I'm going to talk about that later. So anyway, that's all I got for now. But I want y'all to think about that, though. Think about what women actually do. Not what you think they do, what they actually do and what they actually talk about. So anyway, I want y'all to think on this. Talk to y'all later. Peace.